Hello and welcome back to World Talks here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. Russian media has reported that former Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad and his family have arrived in Russia, where they have been granted asylum on humanitarian grounds after anti-regime insurgents stormed through the Syrian capital on Sunday, marking an end of Assad's nearly 25-year rule, a rule supported by Russia and Iran. Now Russia is withdrawing its military assets from Syria, including from an airbase in Hmeimim and a naval base in Tartus. Ukraine's foreign ministry blames Russia's weakness and inability to fight on two fronts. Well, maybe, but what does that mean for the Ukrainian front line? Well, to discuss this, I'm joined by Rostyslav Khotin, a senior editor of the Ukrainian Service, RFE/RL. Mr. Khotin, welcome back to TVP World.
Hello.
Okay, so a lot going on, as always. Let's start with the impact of the withdrawal of these troops, which may be redeployed on the border with Ukraine. What have you heard about that? What can you tell us about that, Mr. Khotin?
Yes, we know that there was some kind of retreat of Russian troops, at least submarines, several submarines and Russian ships have left the base, naval base in Tartus, and they went into the Mediterranean Sea. But whether it's full-fledged retreat or just tactical withdrawal and in order to come back in a few days when Russia will get a kind of deal or agreement with the new Syrian authorities, with the leaders of rebels, we will see. In any way, there are no confirmed reports that Russia actually is withdrawing its troops from Syria. Even if Russia is withdrawing them, they are unlikely to have a very significant impact on the war in Ukraine. Why? Because this contingent in Syria was not too numerous. Experts estimate that there are between 6,000 and 7,500 Russian troops in Syria. That's not a big deal. That's not a big number to impact significantly Ukrainian war in case of withdrawal. Also, they have about 10 tanks, 20 big armored vehicles, so it's also not a big deal. Yes, Russia also has air jets in Syria, based in Syria, Sukhoi jets, bombers, fighter jets, bombers, but again, these numbers are not extremely huge. They are just, several pieces, like 10 plus maybe planes, maybe a little bit more. So in case of withdrawal, they also unlikely to impact significantly Ukrainian war, Russian war against Ukraine. Also, we have to notice that when we are talking about Russian ships and submarines, that Russia will unlikely be able to withdraw them in case of withdrawal to Crimea, to Sevastopol, because Turkey won't allow the passage of Russian military naval ships and submarines through Dardanelles and Bosphorus, through Turkish straits, because of Montreux Convention. So in any case, I don't see a significant impact of Russian withdrawal for Russian-Ukrainian war, if indeed Russia is withdrawing them, because these reports, as I said, are not confirmed. It's kind of tactical steps by Russia in order to get a kind of deal, because with the new Syrian authority after the fall of Bashar al-Assad regime, because Russia indeed needs these bases in Hmeimim, air base in Hmeimim in Syria, and naval base in Tartus to project its power in Eastern Mediterranean, in Northern Africa, in the whole region.
Understood. So far as we know, not much impact on the war with Ukraine. However, there is something that will have an impact, and that is a statement by Prime Minister Tusk of Poland, who says that he expects peace talks to start in winter. What have you heard about these peace talks?
Yeah, it's. I would say it's the thing which was expected already, because President-elect Donald Trump in the United States, he promised to finish the war within 24 hours. Even he said once that, or several times, that even before his inauguration. That's unlikely to happen before the 20th of January, when he takes office. But Donald Tusk's statement reflects expectations that talks will start immediately after Donald Trump takes office. Mr. Tusk want to say that the sense, to convey the sense of urgency. So let's not delay these talks till the spring or summer. No. They should start immediately after Donald Trump takes office in the winter of this year. Also, his statement reflects the idea that Europe should be involved. It shouldn't be just Russian-Ukrainian talks with American mediation or American observation. These talks should involve Europeans as well, and Poland in particular. So the Polish voice should be heard loudly. Unlike with the war in the Donbass from 2014, when there was a Normandy format with Germany and France present, and Polish role was insignificant. Poland was ignored. Poland doesn't want to repeat itself. It want to be heard. It want to take part. It want to lead Europe together with French President and Macron, and also with Britain, Germany, other top European countries involved. So this statement by Mr. Tusk reflects European desire to be also involved, full-fledgedly involved in the future talks, to have a say, to have a role, and also the desire of Europeans to end the war together with Americans, this Russian-Ukrainian war in 2025. So there is wide expectations that the war should end in next year, but the thing is, the problem is on which terms it should end, on the Ukrainian terms or on Russian terms, because Russia wants to clearly stay and occupy territories which are now under its control, and Ukrainians want not just any peace or just ceasefire. No, they want fair and lasting peace in this war.
Right. Okay. So Poland, as Poland's going to be taking over the presidency of the European Union in January for 6 months. So that is going to give it certainly a lot of influence in the way that EU behaviour is directed. How do you see Poland's role in terms of dealing with President-elect Donald Trump in bringing peace to Ukraine?
The statement by Donald Tusk also reflects several tendencies at the same time. One tendency is that Europeans want to have a kind of strategic autonomy in terms of security and defense. They want to strengthen the EU role, the EU stance in the global affairs, and in particular in the war in Ukraine, to resolve this war, this conflict in Ukraine, Russian aggression, to stop Russian aggression against Ukraine. Also, it reflects the tendency in Washington, in the United States, that Europeans actually have to play bigger role. That America will not withdraw from Europe, but America to kind of give Europeans bigger voice and bigger role, and they should care more about their own defense. They should spend more on defense. They should be able to defend Europe, not just being recipients of American security guarantees, but they should play a bigger role and be more powerful in terms of army potential and in terms of military strength. So some people in Trump's camp think that Europeans might even be asked to send troops to Ukraine to safeguard the future peace agreement, to how to end this
well,
war.
we shall see how that pans out. But one quick question is: you talk about the provision of American military materiel to Ukraine. President Biden has just sent over a multi-billion-dollar package of exactly that. How has that helped on the front, and how are things going generally on the front there?
On the front, situation is difficult because Russia is moving forward slowly, but still moving forward with no strategic gains, of course, but with significant losses. But Russian troops are slightly moving ahead in the Donbass. That's true. Ukrainians, at the same time, are being able to defend their positions, their gains in the Kursk region of Russian Federation for potential exchange of this territory for Russian-occupied territories in Ukraine. So that's one development. Another is that President Biden now is showing the courage to give Ukraine as much aid as he can before he leaves White House on the 20th of January. And some people say in Ukraine, he should have been so courageous before, not in order to lose election, and then to be brave enough to give Ukraine significant aid and very quickly, because the pace of U.S. military aid to Ukraine before his democratic loss in the election and victory for Donald Trump was very slow. Ukrainians have been getting aid slowly and not in significant numbers.
Understood. Mr. Khotin, unfortunately, we're going to have to end it there, but thank you very much again for coming along and sharing your insights with our audience. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
That's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Goodbye for now.